My apologies. Um, uh, there was a technical error. My apologies. I often talk about focusing on one aspect or another of what you see in a casino, but there's this huge barrier created by the casino environment. What is it? Being able to stay focused and look past casino distractions to find winning slot machines. It's so detrimental to our winning that you'd think casinos do it deliberately. And so they do. Being in a highly emotional state is to the casino's best interest. Being able to focus is in your best interest. If you're in the live chat or watching this video later, comment with what casinos do that's most distracting for you. I'll share how to stick with your plan on your slots journey and share what I do at my casinos to stay on track. And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. Hello, are you watching this recording on YouTube, Twitter, my Facebook profile page, or listening to the audio on on the podcast episode. Thanks to you for being here. Be sure to subscribe or follow for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around, and I'm sure it will be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. But those of you who are here live, thank you so much. And a special thanks to my moderators for helping with today's live stream. Thank you. And thank you for pointing out. Um, um, uh, uh, yes. Uh, uh, Great. People are hearing me. Good, 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 good. Yes, we had no audio for a little bit there, and moving on. If you have a question, use hashtag question. That's so we can be sure to spot your question to me instead of comments in the live chat to each other. After all, this is also a community video where friends check in with lots of comments to one another, which is great. So please, if you have a question for me, start your comment with hashtag question. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Professor Slots live stream. You know how you put a lot of time and energy into your slots play for not nearly enough wins? Yeah, I get it. I'm here to help you change that. And if you're trying to accelerate your slots momentum, become more profitable, and win more than ever before, today's live stream will help you move forward with confidence. I have over a decade of experience working with slots enthusiasts just like you, so you're in the right place. Hello, slots enthusiasts. It's great to hang out with you again for another Professor Slots live stream. I do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday at noon Eastern to help you improve your slots performance, leave with your winnings, and ultimately change your life for the better. And hopefully, I'm going to change your life a little bit today so you can visit your casino and play slots smarter. And sometimes the best way to do that, to change slots enthusiasts' lives for the better, is when they enter a business relationship with us. They become a client, they buy our online courses, they start getting coaching from us, whatever the case may be, because you have ways to take advantage of your casino, which allows you to impact how much you win and then leave with your winnings. I'm your host, Dr. John Friedel, but please call me John. Improve your slots performance and let's see here. Yes. So that's the chat and that's the course. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You'll get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, where you get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. If you're new, how these live streams work is I pick a slots topic, usually inspired by your questions from a prior live stream, comments on Facebook or Twitter, from emails I received from fans, or from my weekly discussions with my Slots IQ membership group. I'd like to thank Dan from Slots IQ for today's topic. As with this live stream, I'll talk about that slots-related topic for about 20 minutes and take your questions for the next hour and 40 minutes. I hit a hard deadline at 2 hours when my voice starts giving out. So I'll get to your questions as soon as I cover today's topic, but start asking them now. It's a free service, and I'll get to as many questions as I can as soon as possible. But first, today's topic, and everybody's saying hello to each other's. I see some excellent comments. Keep asking them. We'll get back to it in a moment. Today we'll be talking about squirrel. I'm sorry. I love that animated movie. You know the one, Up. I didn't really appreciate it until I got Isaac last year, and regularly just about got my arm yanked off my shoulder when he saw a squirrel while out walking him, which was pretty much every day. Is that what it's like at your casino? Are you pulled this way and that, drawn to whatever casino puts in front of you, or do you resist temptations? Whatever your plan at your casino, and I don't care what your plan is, I just care that you have a plan. The casino will try to distract you. They don't know you have a plan, but on the off chance you do, that they care that you can't stick to it. They think, a plan in our casino? Not if we can help it. I know which distractions can sometimes get the best of me, but let's look at your comments and see what you think about what are those that affect you the most. Let's see. Texas Tootsie, are you saying when it's cold at the casino, that's very distracting? I have a fireplace right over there, which is not currently on. The cats think it's fascinating, and it is pretty cold here. I am purchasing some stuff, boxes everywhere. The cats are tired from playing in all the boxes. Mostly it's for the spare bedroom to get a video studio set up. And you might notice, perhaps if you have podcast ears, as they call it, that there's not quite as many echoes. So I got some sound absorption set up around my desk here. And so there's lots going on. And Christine says, hi, John. Hi, Christine. Been following you, watching tons of videos. I think I'm ready to put it to use in January in Vegas. We had there's going to be lots of excitement between. I don't mean to get to the questions right now, but we have lots of excitement coming through the end of the year and on January 1st. But last year we were surprised to find that it was really bad. Starting January 2nd in Las Vegas. But you can still win, but it was just like not the same. So if you get excited about everything that you're going to see happening in my Facebook groups and people talking about all the excitement between Christmas and New Year's, before New Year's, after Thanksgiving, all of that, don't think that's going to happen. I mean, as long as you don't have a misunderstanding, the beginning of January can be tough. So be prepared for what's going to happen, which is going in and having to work for it, and don't let the previous week kind of derail you, if that makes sense. Yeah, and if that's your plans, that's your plans. People are cold everywhere, cold. Yep, yes. And so Steve says it's 33 degrees, as my Canadian friends say, Fahrenheit or Celsius, and light snow. So I'm going to go with Fahrenheit, right? And Camilla, what degrees Celsius is it? Christine says, I always bring a sweater and wear a light skirt just in case they like to change temps. Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the distractions that Texas Tootsie is saying. People screaming when they win distract me, and that's a good point. That's a good point. I'll talk about that. New song, the new song, to machines distract me. Okay, yeah. You can still use my methods. It's just have your expectations adjusted. All right. Yeah. And good. Let's see. New slot machines get me every time, I see from Minka. Hi, Minka. And yes. Okay. So let's talk about some of these. Some I have and some you have, and we'll go through this. So about a week ago, I went to Atlantis. I went to Atlantis in Reno. Let me see if I can show it to you. It's kind of dark right now, which means it's not light blaring through the patio window. That is Atlantis Casino in Reno. I can see it out my window. And now today you can, because it's getting dark. So that's wonderful. Glad you can see it. Maybe in an hour or so, it'll all be lit up at night. Thank you, Camilla. It's 0 Celsius where she is. Wow, cold. Okay, so I went there, and you know that's the skyscraper. You can make out my patio door. I went for a car drawing, and we've come to expect from casinos, it took hours, 4 hours. That was maybe the fifth time I'd been to Atlantis. It was about a week ago, a week and a half ago, since I arrived here in early October. It took waiting for each half hour free play drawings, and then the casino drawing 4 hours later as an opportunity to know. I took that as an opportunity to know my casino well. That's so important, as you should know. Well, those of you that win at slots know it. The rest of you, well, you're learning. I came prepared to wait. I brought my laptop and went for multiple walks because I am trying to learn my casino. And let's see here. Yes, and I brought my laptop and to work on some spreadsheets for you, and for that reporter from ABC WCPO Cincinnati that I as supporting documentation for my interview with him. He didn't end up using. He ended up quoting me, but he didn't use the video. So if you go to professorslots.com/ABC 9, you can find that interview directly. Have you seen it? So what surprised me the most during my wait at Atlantis was the intensity of the sound coming from everywhere. Sure, it was a Saturday night from 7 to 10 p.m., which is not my usual time, but it still was a lot. I didn't realize how much it was getting to me until I opened my laptop at a table at the bar and tried to work on that spreadsheet. I've I've worked on a lot of spreadsheets, let me tell you, and the difference in my ability to not focus was startling. I'd I'd wondered if it was ever, I'd wondered if it was going to be loud. So I brought my Apple AirPods. Right? Have you seen those? And let me share the screen there. So there's there's those, and then there's the cheap ones, disposable, one use, noise protection. I used the AirPods. They're called Apple AirPods noise cancellation feature, which is awesome. I have to say, I really enjoy it. I'd use them to block out sound when mowing my lawn for 3 hours back in Ohio. When I put them in at Atlantis on Saturday night, the relief was immediate. I could still hear announcements, but the white noise blasting at me from everywhere was just gone. So, uh, uh, is it like that for you? I remember all the time I spent in the high limit room back at the downtown Cincinnati casino, winning hand pay after hand pay. It wasn't loud there. Why not? Because their high limit room is an actual room. In Atlantis, the high limit room is a walled off area with like a half wall all around. It might be a little quieter in there than the rest of the casino, but it's not as quiet as the high limit room at Hard Rock Cincinnati. My personal realization is that part of the draw for me to play high limit slots, where all my wins resulted in writing a book and starting my Professor Slots business, might well have been to get out of the high noise level out on the general casino floor. That insight for me was a significant realization. This is, let's see here. I need my moderators to do the job. And yes, thank you. Yes, Mika, I am human. Do I have to say that? What bothers you about casino distractions? I mean, I try to adjust. um, the best way to give you some insight in my character, and my abilities, I guess, is that I can be surprised. And when I'm surprised, I need to take a moment. So that is where I'm at on this. And sometimes I'm startled by realizations like, was the reason I went into high limits, was that because I was, oh, I don't know, yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Yeah. My moderator is like, "What? No, no, I got it, Jan." What bothers you about casino distractions? More importantly, perhaps without realizing it, how has your behavior changed because of those distractions? Do you know? Because the casino does. Those distractions are deliberate. They were put in place to do a job. Sometimes the noise is from people, and people, must be at the casino. A lot of people must be at the casino for a high level of noise. Other times, noise comes from machine winds, which is something I've talked about you should listen for. But sometimes the noise is white noise or music from the overhead speakers, which seem to be there to prevent you from hearing winds coming from other areas of the casino. Some of you have reported that's what happens at your casinos. So the question for you is, are you distracted by your casino? And if so, what do you think you're being distracted from? Yes, not being able to focus helps the casino, but is there a point to it? If there is, it should be obvious. The next time you're in your casino, maybe wearing hearing protection, see if you play slots differently. Yeah. Distractions are sound, flashing lights, excited players, perhaps screaming for whatever reason, as was mentioned by Jan. The noise cancellation removes the white noise, but I can hear the overhead speaker making announcements about who's winning the raffle, the car giveaway, the free play. But I can also hear. I don't need to tell everybody it's 0 Celsius in Canada where you are, Camilla. Okay. And so, there's these flashing lights also, and screaming and sounds and more. The flashing lights, I want to mention, happen to know, the flashing lights affect those who have a mild form of epilepsy. They get migraines with one or two flashes of light. If you ever play video games, that's what they're warning you about with the warning labels on those. My former coworker was like that, where our flash thermography inspection system, long story, was medically awful on him. So we got a special pair of glasses to deal with it. If you get migraines at the casino always and quickly, you might want to get that checked out. It's an easy fix. One of the other things that distracts me is the smell of tobacco smoke. And I'm also allergic to it. And that's an easy fix uh, in our post-pandemic world. Nobody would think twice if I were to wear a mask these days. And so I will from now on. Ohio casinos are smoke-free except for open-air smoking parlors with slot machines. In Nevada, it's the opposite. My apologies for those that want to spot me at Nevada casinos. I'll be one of the guys wearing a mask and with earbuds in my ear. To stay focused at your casino, do away with the distractions that bother you the most. I'll be wearing noise canceling AirPods to block white noise, pounding on my senses, and a mask to block tobacco smoke. Because focusing matters to winning at slots, it's it's one of the things that's so obvious to me due to moving from Ohio, where casinos have a little more wide open casino floor and smoking isn't prohibited. Versus, Atlanta's casino is decades old and in a heavily populated area, meaning they can't expand except to go up. And they've built 3 towers to do just that. Uh, so, but there are other distractions in casinos. Drinks are one. uh, you know, crowds are another, long lines, and more. But anything that gets you to lose focus must be blocked somehow. Another way to lose focus is staying too long. Flip has mentioned, I don't know if he's here tonight, but Flip has mentioned that part of his successes at WinStar has been to make only 2-hour trips. He works hard at using my strategies and quite successfully. He's gone from what, 2, 3 hand pays a month to like 30, 40, 50. He works hard at using my strategies and quite successfully, as he has shared with us here. But maybe you remember from a live stream about a week ago, his question. He asks, is using your strategies supposed to be this much of a mental effort? And I answered, yes, at first. It's like anything new to you. My methods require you to look around, think about what you see, and consider next steps on your slots journey, which gets easy with practice, but can be a bit daunting at first. And that kind of thoughtful effort is why casinos have distractions. Wouldn't you if you were them? My strategies are designed to take advantage of casinos marketing practices, but you also must safeguard yourself from casino distractions. Common casino practices aren't just about marketing. They're about cheap or free drinks, either alcoholic beverages or self-serve sodas. Either will work for the casino. They're about noise to make you lose focus. Protect yourself, safeguard yourself, and it will be easy to use my strategies and win. And I wouldn't be surprised if you found it easier to leave with their winnings too. And wouldn't that be a kicker? Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. Okay, let's take a look at some of your questions. Thank you for bearing with me for that 2-3 minute muted beginning. I will see what I can do to remove that. James says, "Oh, James, you're freezing in Utah. I completely get it. It's almost near the high. It was 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and wow, it was tough." Thank you. Thank you to my moderator for deleting that comment that we want to get rid of, and make sure that for those people that you just never allow them to see the channel again, hide that viewer, hide the channel from that viewer. There's all different kinds of trolls. I'm starting to categorize them, and the XXX ones are just, they'll be back under a new they'll be back under a new email immediately. I'm not even sure it's a human. It could very well be a robot. That's how, just write the robot. Blah, blah, blah. Christine says, especially when they scream right next to you, and talking to it, Texas Tootsie. Absolutely. People, I win on high limit machines, and people stand around me and they're just big money when the Wheel of Fortune machine is turning, and I'm like, oh, just, I don't mind crowds, but when they get loud, it's like I'm working here. I'm working here. Yes. New machines. Does anything distract you? I think not. Oh, did you watch? This is my, what is it, 186th or something like that live stream. And did you perhaps watch it? It's coming up on 3 years. Wow. November? Next week will be 3 years of live streams. Weekly live streams up until I think May this year, and then I went to 3 a week, and so wow. But if you were here for the first year, you would know just exactly how distracted I would sometimes get. All the questions, and I'd interrupt myself, and then interrupt myself, and Christine, do they? Well, that's a very smart question that you're asking. Do they really turn all machines down for those months after the new year, even the old part of Vegas? The return statistics say no. But if you go to the casino and you use my methods, they seem to be like turning off the marketing strategies that attach to my methods. Does that make sense? So we can look at the return statistics by month, for this year we don't have November's yet because November's not over. We don't have December, of course, but we can look at last year's. And last year we couldn't really do that because the previous year was like, the casinos were all doing their thing with the pandemic. So yes, Shane says in airport now, heading to Vegas. Well, and Jan says, Jan says, 3-year anniversary. Congratulations. Well, it might be another week yet. I should check the exact date. I think it was like the last week of November, and we're only in the middle of the month. Yeah. And do they? So to Christine, to answer your question, the return statistics don't show much of a dip, but on the other hand, I don't. I'm working through alphabetically the 20 states that have return statistics, and Nevada's coming up, and you can go look at yourself and see what the yearly trends is. The thing to remember is that 2.5% win percent drop or increase is the difference between the worst casino that you've ever been to and the best casino you've ever been to. So if it does a little squiggle down on the graph, that can be huge, and that's what we're talking about here. There's data, and we can look at that. So, casinos seem to be. I think I answered that as best I can. It's a good question, though. It's something maybe I should have a live stream on. Yeah, I always appreciate excellent questions, and you had an excellent one. Christine says, once you use your taste method, do you then go back to those machines and then hit 10x, 20x? What I like to do is I call it my tough love method. If you will share my screen here. So if you go to, let me quickly change that. So that you can see this just a little bit better. I'll make my mouse large, and yes, there. Okay. So if you go to professorslots.com, you can see strategies right here. And if you click on that, you'll get the strategic articles. So that's the how-to articles, not the state articles, not the review articles, the strategic strategy articles. And I like to use tough love. So anybody who is a newbie to my 5-spin method, and I've been talking with lots of people about this lately, it's going to be the topic of my next course, which I'll plug in just a moment, or let you know how it's developing. It's under development, and if you want in, I'll show you how to be told first. But the combination of strategies is what is so important about the 5-spin method. The people who just find out about the 5-spin method are, they do it and that's it. But then those people that use it a couple of times and then to win, and then maybe a week goes by or like 5 visits to the casino, something like that, they start thinking, and it's a natural process. They start saying, what if I flip? What if I were to use this at 4 o'clock in the morning? What if I were to use this the morning after big events? What if I were to, combine it with other strategies? And one of the things you can do, and it's very versatile, it's an assessment tool. So one of the easiest first things you do once you start being an advanced user is take the 5-spin method and go through 20 machines as a newbie would, but as an advanced user, you would say, which of those machines is giving me there's a $20 hit, there's a $10 hit, there's a, depending on, $8 bets or something, and you're making your profit and you're like, okay. And then you come across like the 20th machine, the 15th machine, it gives you $200. What do you do? Well, what I tell people is pause the test. I mean, you could come back later, but it's really best to just like pause the 5-spin test and switch over to the tough love method. Which I explain here, and you can read all about it. There's a video that's on my main page on YouTube. Find a keeper and go ahead and read that. It's not very long, and it explains how to go about doing it. And I made it, tough love. I was trying to make an analogy towards making a commitment to the slot machine and whether you should. And so take a look at that. And Rope says, hi, Rope. Good to see you. Question, noisy players are distracting to say the least. Yes. I don't know. And I heard screams coming from the table area. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Christine says, do the casinos plant screaming drunk people? That would be an interesting paying job. I know people who are really kind of like, skilled in that area, but I don't know that the casino would like pay people to do it. I mean, just think about the health benefits that would have to go with it. Here, drink this. You're not drinking enough. Get drunk more. Come on, scream more. And we can fix your voice later. And then there's also the obnoxious drunk. Distracts me. I had I hit the fan. Oh, it was I was in the high limit room at the downtown Cincinnati casino, and it was I didn't, this is back when I was learning all these techniques and writing them down, and it wasn't until I wrote the book that I was like, oh yeah, it all kind of fits together in a pattern, in a jigsaw puzzle sort of way, and put it together. But at the time, I was at the casino. I was playing high limits at my usual Wheel of Fortune machine, winning hand pays, and the what was it? Cincinnati Reds got out. Their game got out. It's practically next door to the casino in downtown Cincinnati, and a lot of people showed up. I guess it was a good game or something. And so a gentleman sat down next to me, completely drunk. And his girlfriend, who was not drunk, was next to him. And so I never did get her phone number, but I really thought about it. And we had a nice little conversation. He started getting upset. He was playing and not winning because he was on the wrong machine. I knew that, but I'm not explaining to him that, and I explained a little bit to her, and I would win a hand pay, and so I would hit the button, win a hand pay, and I'd look over at him and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" And I think I might have been provoking him a little bit because he just got outraged, and his girlfriend had to drag him away, and the other players next to me, because it was very crowded, were how do you deal with a drunk person in a restaurant or a casino who's right next to you and doing all those things? And I found out from I don't know, and I didn't know then, and I found out from from the other people sitting next to me what they would do. And I that part was just I was completely distracted by that. So what we're talking about here is having skills. Okay, if it's noisy, try headphones. You can get the foam ones in one use, or you can get the earbuds, or you can get the Google version. Whatever. With like headphones about the size of these. These are not noise canceling, but Beat is a brand. I should try to get a sponsorship with them or something, brand deal. And solve your problem. It's your money that you're losing. Solve your problem. And, yeah, California. Um, uh, Mark says, question, probably not a distraction, waiting for your glass of Coke. More like a clever idea to keep you on the machine while it's coming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right. Um, if so, I wanted to. I have pictures that I showed during the first part on my slides, and I did want to get like a 12 pack. I have to use license free, license free, so I can't go with like brand names on beer. But that like a dewy glass of beer. I don't drink. I'm fine with drinking. I just forget, and a year will go by. One time, 10 years went by, and that's when I found out that for me, there's a limit to how long I can go without a drink, because I was like, that's a long time to be sober. And but normally I'm like, what were we talking about? And that's how it is for me with alcohol. Let's see. Um, well, Lee, for me, what I'm finding is I drink a lot at the casino. Why? Because I'm in a friggin' desert. I mean, oh, hey, look, you can see outside. It's not all white. It's the sun setting on the other side, and the air is dry. And when I was 4 hours into the getting close to 4 hours waiting last Saturday, a week ago Saturday at the casino for that car drawing, I basically had to go buy water. It was like 32 ounces, and I drank it. Never saw it again. I was getting dehydrated. You just breathe out the moisture. Yeah. Shane, I find high limit machines confusing. Are there ways to look for lower amounts per spin machines? Okay, so if you find high limit machines confusing, okay. Are there ways to look for lower amounts per spin machine? So you can find in the high limit room, they're trying to make the casinos in many casinos. Didn't used to be this way, but lately it's been like every casino I've gone to. There are low limit machines in the high limit room. I think they're just trying to make people who are a little bit worried about, a little bit scared, which is a good thing, by the way, of being in the high limit room, to give them a machine or two to play. So you should be able to find in the high limit room penny machine, 5-cent machine. Be careful of the higher limits. It can be pretty high, but it's a low limit machine in the high limit room, and if that increases the comfort, you didn't ask this, but it helps kind of get the comfort level in a high limit room, and that is that comfort, that being I'll just say scared of the high limit room. Not that's what you're saying. Being scared of the high limit room is actually good for you, and doing away with it is actually bad for you until you're actually comfortable to be there naturally. The casino making every effort to get you quickly used to a high limit room is not to your advantage. And so, are there ways to look for lower amounts per spin machines? You look for the denomination. That's the number one. Be careful of max bet. There's lots of people that I know that have reached out to me and said, I accidentally pressed the max bet button, and I didn't realize it was 1,000 pennies. I just spent $10 and I have $100 bankroll, and what the heck? And half the time they say they win. So yeah. Hi Diane. How are you doing? And Shane, in the airport now, heading to Vegas. If the stewardess comes along, the flight attendant, I should say, comes along and says, "Stop listening to that live stream. The recording is available, Shane. I want you to get to Las Vegas and not be diverted." And Minka says, "Go Shane, go Shane." And Jan says, Texas Tootsie says, "Shane, good luck." Yes, good luck. And Shane says, "Thanks all." Yes. So people scream and they get super excited over $22 wins. It's part of why they go to the casino, to scream. Mm. And Pete says, I think it might be a question from one of my uploaded videos. Would the casino rotate a machine you seem to win on with another machine? They do this all the time, but the question is why. And so, would they move machines? They move machines all the time. Would they move it because you win? Well, that's a slow process. They actually have to power it down, move it around, get a cart, do all of that, and that is something that isn't done instantly. You may come back to that machine the next day and find it has moved. And then you have to start asking yourself, why was that? It isn't about you, but it might have been like everybody who played it won, or they have a contract. This is something that the newer machines, the machines that casinos get, they're leased, and that leased is a contract. And some of the writing in that contract are obligations. And so the slot machine manufacturer can write into that contract, into that lease, for the casino to have higher than normal odds for a certain length of time, and that it must be put into a highly visible area. And all that is a contractual obligation of the casino, which the casino has decided to accept, maybe for favorable terms on the lease. And so that is a reason for them to move some of these machines. So you're on the right track. The question is why, and can you find it, and a few other things. So I hope that gets you started. I talk a lot about the slots journey, and hopefully that got you a couple of steps further along your slots journey. I think you might have some follow-up questions about that, though. um, uh, uh, yes, or less than $22 hits. Texas Tootsie said, I've seen a group of women scream over every hit, no matter how small. And Mike says, congrats on 3 years. It'll be about 2 weeks. And for anybody who's going to be here on Thursday next week, I'm not going to have a live stream on Thanksgiving Day. I will have 2 more this week and 2 next week, but Thursday will be time for family. At the bar, have 10 minutes. Okay. Miss Shane, good, good. Mary Ellen asks, and this is a Facebook question. She is not limited to 200 characters. For those of you who are frustrated by the 200 characters on YouTube, Facebook gets longer. So, question from Mary Ellen. Hi, Mary Ellen. This isn't a distraction, or maybe they are, but I have had real tilts happen to me my last 2 visits. One Inky took 5 minutes for someone to fix it, but the second one I waited 45 minutes. I couldn't leave because I had money still in the machine and couldn't cash out. Are real tilts common? They certainly are time consuming. Thank you. I was at what is it? Horseshoe, Indianapolis. It was formerly Indiana Grand. And it didn't change ownership. It just changed name. They had owned it for 5 years, and they finally, Caesars had owned it, and finally they put up the signs that said Horseshoe. So it wasn't one of those things we talk about where the name changed. But I was there earlier this year, and 10% of the machines are broken, and they had work orders on the screen, and they said what was wrong. I mean, you had to be able to read the handwriting, and it's all abbreviated and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I know what CPU means, and connection, internet connection, but some of them were like shattered, and uh, and and yeah, there's a problem lately with getting equipment. There's a problem lately with getting skilled personnel, as with going to your local um, uh, restaurant. Yeah, there's a shortage of people, trained people, and the equipment to go with it. Uh, I don't know that Slots of Fun is here. Yes, and Slots of Fun was saying he was it Three Kings in North Carolina last week, I think it was, and the server went down. The power didn't go out. That's happened, but the power didn't go out. The server went down, and that meant that none of the machines could cash out. None of the machines, not one or two, not yours, Mary, but all of them. And what a headache that was. Yeah, it can happen, but it's kind of like the isolated case. Yeah. If it keeps happening, well, let us know. Let us know. Daniel says, thanks for all you do in the podcast, sir. You're very welcome. I'm here to help. James says, thanks for your content. I tend to win consistently in the first hour I'm in the casino, but I have difficulty leaving right away with profits. Everybody does. It is the number one problem. It's why I call my channel value proposition, it's called, play slots smarter. Leave with your winnings. The first is what people want, and the second sentence is what people need, whether they know it or not. Now that people are winning with my methods, they're finding out, oops, I don't know how to leave. Yeah. As Texas Tootsie says, my moderator, James, I hear you. James, I hear you too. We all do. Mike says, thanks for the great tips. The 5-spin method helped my sister and I hit 20 jackpots for $58,000. I am not surprised. Would you mention which casino you are at? So that would help us sort of like understand. Some casinos have it, some casinos don't. And if you want to share or not, it's up to you. We would be interested, but we are not twisting your arm at all. Question from Chris. Is it better to try 5-spin method with the max bet and the penny machines? Let's say max is $4. Just hit to that just in case you hit hand pay. Okay, so there's the newbie approach to 5-spin method, and then there's the advanced, which is, we could talk about a couple of the advantages and assessment tools and all of that. So trying to just like wiggle my way through this, penny machines have low odds. It would be better if it was a multi-denomination machine to make half the credit bet and a 2-cent denomination. It's the same bet amount, but your baseline return would automatically be higher, and that's something you do. You can still win even on the penny denomination if you find a good penny machine. There's so many of them that you can look around, and out of the 36,000 penny machines on the Las Vegas Strip, you can find the winners. There might be 100 of them, but of the 150 nickel machines on the Las Vegas Strip, you have to actually find them first before you figure out which one of them are winners. Although they all are pretty good, they've had high odds for like a year. That's it. Let's see. Is it better to try 5-spin method with the max bet and the penny machines? So that's not the first thing to do. The first thing to do is minimum bet to see if it gives out wins. So that's the assessment tool for the casino. It's an assessment tool for slot machines. It's how you advanced users use the 5-spin method. And then if the return is good, then you bet more money. If you're a newbie, sure, go ahead. If you're an advanced user, which is not much difference, it's like 3 visits of winning with 5-spin method before you become an advanced user and you start thinking about some of these other strategies and how to use them. Improve your baseline by playing a 2-cent denomination on those. It depends if there's as many multi-denomination machines as there are penny machines, but you sort of have to look around and choose this. So every little bit can help, and figuring out which little bit helps is part of what we're talking about here. It's a good question. Brett says, how do I document your play? Trying to find a simple but effective method to keep track of my wins losses. By the way, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I've hit many jackpots using 5-spin method. I'm glad. People here have said, whole casinos, everybody in the casino is just like, thank you. And I'm like, that's what I'm here for. But there are advanced uses for the 5-spin method. So it's kind of a gateway method, if you will. So I'm going to share, let's see, you have a question about this. So I will go to, I'll share this, probably do that. Yes. Okay. So if you go to professorslots.com, and this is what it looks like, if I type in courses at professorslots.com, then there's a free course, which is, you asked about tracking, and I want to say there is a free course on tracking complementary gifts. And it comes with spreadsheet templates. If you have Excel, or if you have like a iPad or something small, often you can get the free version of Excel. I also provide what's called CVS or CSV format, which is kind of like, doesn't have any graphs, doesn't have any equations, but it's still digital. And then I also provide PDF. So I provide those three formats. And under 7 Gambling Secrets, this is the curriculum, keeping gambling records, what's all involved. The introduction has the irs.gov resources so that you can find out what is needed for income tax purposes. But that's not the only thing you might be interested in keeping records for, because which nights a year ago were good. Was it the day of Thanksgiving, or the day after Thanksgiving, or the day before Thanksgiving? What about Christmas, New Year's? And so, if you want to remember, that's great, but I like to write things down. And so the gambling records can keep track of what you need for income tax preparation purposes. And by the way, you're all getting hand pays eventually, if you want them. And you do the work. You may lose all that money, but you can deduct your losses. Even if you don't have gambling deductions, you are one big hand pay away from being able to. And all this becomes, the people who get W-2 hand pays, the first time I got any, it was a real education. And we're all self-taught. So how to use my gambling templates. This is the structure. I have a simple, medium, and advanced version. If you don't get hand pays, if you don't get W2G jackpots, then use the simple version. It's everything that the IRS.gov asks for. And this is my course available to you at courses.professorslots.com, 7 Gambling Records Secrets. Yeah. Knock yourself out. And that's how I do it. All explained in videos and spreadsheets. And I fill out, as an example, the spreadsheet so you can see what it looks like. There's graphs, etc. Yeah. This is what I'm prepared for you winning hand pays. Mel says, yes, be aware the first minute, 2 minutes are without sound. You didn't miss anything because I started over, and I'll see what I can do about not having that available in the recording. And you're not late. We're all here. We're all still here, as Slots of Fun. And thank you, Slots of Fun, for also being my moderator today. No worries. Let's see. Question from Brett. Hi, Brett. You've been here before, haven't you? How do you document? Thank you for adding the hashtag question, so I can be sure to spot it. I happen to notice it with all the other comments, so I think I answered your question, and that's what I do. Is courses.professorslots.com, and for complimentary record keeping, you can see what it's all about there. And then I have another version which is not free, which would be for gambling records. We all should do it. I wish more of us do it. Can a non-max bet hit the top jackpot? Read the game rules. Pete says, can a non-max bet hit the top jackpot? It does depend. If you, on some machines, the top jackpot isn't the kind of like at the top of the pay table. Like for instance, there was 5 times play. There were all these multipliers, and the multipliers were actually more than the top jackpot. And so read the game rules and see. There are instances where that can happen. Usually not so much, because They put that aside for good reason. Uh, yeah. Uh, Flip says, question, since learning and using your strategies, I actually know now why I lost, which is usually because I got off plan. If I can't keep laser focused on what's going on, it's time to leave. Uh, Flip. Oh, goodness, Flip. My face is red. Flip has given a donation, as he likes to do. He's a generous guy, and he has given me a donation of $199.99 because he says, thank you, Flip, because he says in 4 days he got 9 hand pays. And from your laser focus comment, I am certain that you are getting out of the casino with your winnings. Yeah. This Flip is an example to the rest of us. Yeah. He's basically doing what I did, and I was just sitting there going, "What?" And this works, that doesn't work, and then I wrote it all into a book. What do you think, Flip? Write a book? And Chris says, thank you, John. I'm planning a trip next week on Thanksgiving to Vegas. Any recommendations for the casinos? I'm thinking to try good Cosmopolitan and Venetian. Let's see. I can't go to their website. There's too much advertising, and YouTube doesn't like to advertise twice, if that makes sense. So what I would recommend is limit yourself to only a couple of casinos, because it's hard work. You need to learn your casino well. And so pick a couple and look them over. If you want to explore others, walk through them, that's fine. But, focus. 2, 3 is like exhausting. And the thing you want to do before your trip is go to the casino website. You can go to, let's see, I'll share this. We'll do this. Yep. And put it there. Okay. So again, I'm back to professorslots.com. And if you go to professorslots.com, and then you put in a slash, and then you put in your state's 2-letter postal designation for Nevada and V. So we are now going to Nevada. Okay. And each section is the same for all the 56 articles, and include the territories and the federal district as well. And yes, it took me a year. And then I made them better in a second year. And then I made them better in a third year. And then about halfway through the fourth year, I was like, good enough. And now I just update changes, add additional casinos. So it's always introduction, relevant legal statutes, whether or not what the private ownership of a slot machine rules are for that state. The Gaming Control Board, there's more later, but this is basically where you would go. And then there's casinos. And in the case of the Nevada, it's more casinos than any other. These are all the current links. I check them every once in a while, a couple times a year, to make sure they're still good. A lot of changes happened during the pandemic, so I make sure I check. But you can go to, this is by city, because that's important in Nevada. You can go to Las Vegas and Clark County, including downtown, the Strip, and more, and you can find the Cosmopolitan, and you can click on that. And what you need to do is go to their website. Go to their website before your trip and go all the way to the bottom, or look under casino slots or wherever you need to look, and see if they have a property map, a layout of where the casino is. It won't be like slot machine by slot machine. WinStar in Oklahoma has it. They have on their website, they will have a map, and you can pick a particular game, and it'll tell you where in the casino it is, and like direct you which path to walk on your mobile app, and but not everybody is like that. But go to whatever Nevada casino you're going to, Las Vegas casino you're going to, find the property map. Encore has one, Wynn has one, Bellagio has one. I think I don't. Cosmo, I have to actually check and see if Cosmo has one. But whatever casino you're planning on going to, check for that, because you can look at it and say, where is the casino relative to the high traffic areas? You can isolate, look here, and see if there's any slot machines in those areas, because they're near high traffic areas. And I do these in the consultations. I'll be happy to do it for you in the consultation. I'll just lay it all out for you and say, here, 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 and here. This is where you start. And these other things having to do with 5-cent machines and etc. But that is part of the consultation and the value there. Most of my consultations are for people who are going to Las Vegas. Now that I've moved to Reno, I'm thinking, it's like a 48-hour flight to Las Vegas. Maybe I should meet them there for a fee because I'm getting on a plane, and not use a property map, but walk them through the casino. Yeah. Or sign up online and we'll discuss it virtually, which can be pretty good. That's what I do for all the other casinos in the United States. But I'm so close to Las Vegas. I was thinking, some of my fans have been saying, well, why don't you, it would be a good product to have. And I'm like, maybe. Let's see. I did good one time at the Mirage, but it's been sold, and I don't know if that's any good or not because Hard Rock will take over in January. So if you go to the Mirage and you go to the website, read what it has for the URL. All the properties in the Las Vegas Strip, and 7 of them were purchased by MGM. And the first thing you knew that it was purchased, it didn't change the name. It changed the URL. It's not immediate, but it takes 6 months to get the sign and put it up outside. Those things are expensive and they take a while to make. But the changing the URL, they want ownership. They want the value of being the HTTPS colon double backslash and the name. They want it to be their name because that's money in the business world. So see if it says Hard Rock. Just like the 7 casinos that were purchased by MGM switched to saying MGM. And that's some of the clues that you can get. So yes, it may be that they've taken over in January, but have they already taken over and that sign is going up in January? Because normally they don't mention these things, for until the business deal is done, because it can mess up the business deal. I suspect it's probably already owned by them. In which case, yes, it could be a bit of an issue for a few months. But then, did they purchase it 6 months ago? In which case, it might be over. Yeah, this is the sort of business aspect of casinos that you want to make sure that you understand. Wow, Flip, there's your donation. Thank you so much. Mike says Hard Rock, Tampa, Florida. People tell me that it's so hard to win there, and I'm like, actually, I think if you actually tried this sort of thing, I will guess, not really guess, and say, was it the location method? Because, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. If everybody would like the this video, it's kind of like central servers and casinos. It's the way that I'm trying to finesse the YouTube algorithm and get more people to come and watch, be informed that there is a live stream going on, and they should come in and ask their questions and do that. Question from Mark. My small distraction is the aggressive button smashers or quicks. Oh man, there are people that just pound on it. And I'm like, people have all kinds. I don't have a medical degree. I have lots of other degrees, business, engineering, physics, and I'm not medical. And I see some of that stuff on, and I'm like, have you considered therapy? But of course, not well received. Somebody gets my sense of humor. Awesome. Thank you. I try. Edgar says, does anyone have any recommendations for a casino in Oklahoma? I usually frequent either Choctaw and Durant, Oklahoma, or WinStar World Casino in Thackersville, Oklahoma, but I'm looking for something new. So Flip, if he's still here, goes to WinStar, and he may have a recommendation for you if he's still available. Yeah. uh, and you can also go to what you might consider doing is going to, I'll share this. I have a resource to help people. I can't be at every casino. It would take me 10 years to visit. If I visited 2 a week for every week of the year, it would take me 10 years to go to all 1,000 casinos. It's just math. But if you go to professorslots.com/FP or Facebook, you'll come to this page. And these are my 57 Facebook groups. So a couple of years ago, what I decided to do was help you connect with local slots enthusiasts. So I would recommend that you join Professor Slots Enthusiasts just because it has 18,000 members and they talk about every casino under the sun. But then you would also want to go to Oklahoma. I would click on these, but I can't. I don't want to. It's private. So I protect the users from outsiders as best as I can, from spammers and all of that. And I'm not going to share with you what is private. You can join, it's free. And if you don't mind Facebook, then ask. It's all very search. Any Facebook page has a little magnifying glass in the upper corner, and you can type in, casinos near you. We can go to professorslots.com. Oops, okay, go back to here. Yes. Don't open. Sometimes I don't open enough of these because we're going all around my website. So if you go to professorslots.com/OK, there is a casino map. As many as every one of these, it's a little harder for some of the territories. All these casinos there's a casino map. So if I were to zoom in on this, is that too much? Maybe. There we are. And so Oklahoma has so many casinos that I just put numbers instead of arrows like I do in other places. And so this is the capital. And if you sort through this for Durant, and you can look up the number of casinos near WinStar and near Choctaw Durant, and you can find what's closest and work through them. And then you have that name. So here's Choctaw Durant, which is down here. And then Choctaw Durant, 37 right there. And so what's 48, which is Texacoma, 49, Mad Dill Gaming. And then you have all the way up here, 68, Choctaw Springtown. Over here, 24, which is Gold Mountain. And then down here, 17, which is Border. Oh, that's WinStar. Okay, and Border. So once you have the name, then you can go to the Facebook group for Oklahoma, Oklahoma Slots Enthusiasts Facebook group, and type in Border. And there's a couple of years of comments. So my Oklahoma group is pretty large, and that's talk to the locals. Talk to the locals. This is how I'll get you to get you connected to them. Let's see. I have been to Metropolis, Illinois, Harris. I've been there, and yes, that's so. I don't know if anybody else has been. Let's check the comments. So how do I get a big win? How can I get a big win betting small? So again, you can go to my website, and I wrote how to do that. It's an excellent topic. And I will, it's fairly straightforward here. If you go to professorslots.com, see that? Professorslots.com. My article 2 articles ago was getting a hand pay with a small $100 bankroll. Read it. The video will come out soon. I have made a bunch of purchases to get my studio up and running. All I've been able to do lately is like go to the patio and take a picture, take a video. And it's hard to do that during the day, less light during the day. And it's gotten really cold lately, like 20 degrees. And so I've been needing to get my studio back up and running. Used to have the log cabin. Used to have a nice setup there. Now I'm setting up my spare bedroom. And so that right now, if I were to click on it, is got an article and it's got a podcast episode 184. So if you listen to this, but you can't watch it, and I'll just scroll through it so you can begin to see the simple explanation of how to go about doing it. And there you are. Take a look. We had a live stream on it not too long ago, and it's a good question. Well, so Izzy is saying you are a real professor. I've had professors, so many of them, with my 8 college degrees, and I've had a few professors that were pretty crazy. So I have lots to draw from. And it's lots of fun. It says depends what you consider big wins. $30 bets hits with an $18 bet, 36 cents. So Tom and Roe Love question: do you know of Atlantic City's casinos are server based? Nobody. Well, see, this is the question. When you say server based, some of the other slots channels out there get confused, deliberate or not. There are 2 types of server based. One, the game is on the server. That's a failed technology. And when other channels say, oh no, there's no such thing as server based, they're right, because the game on the server didn't work. The slot machine manufacturers are trying new stuff all the time, and players have to like it and to buy it for the casino to, hey, everybody loves it. Let's do it. Bonuses are an example of something that worked, but having cashless machines where, hey, just pull it from any credit card that you got, you just swipe and go, is the players are like, that sounds scary. I would abuse that. And so that's not popular. So there was a server-based game where the game was not on the slot machine, but the game was instead connected to was at the central server, and that's a failed technology. So that doesn't exist. They keep trying to come back. There's so many companies that thought, hey, let's get invested in this, and make a good run of it. And even now they're like advertising as they lose millions to try to say, well, just get somebody to do it. And nobody wants to talk about it when asked, but winning has been extremely difficult the last few months. Most players are getting concerned. So I'm going to take your question. I think I answered it that way. So I'm going to take your question in a slightly different way. And I'll take us back to my website. Do you see my mouse right here? See my mouse? It's kind of hard to see it, I guess, on small screens. It depends if you're on a laptop or a desktop or your mobile phone. Under reviews, right, the number right below the slot in Learn to Win at Slot Machines, there's something called reviews. I'm going to click that. This is all my articles that are reviews, and one of them is New Jersey. And so New Jersey is coming up, but I have an old version. I cycle through all 20 states that have returns, but I did New Jersey back in 2021. So this is something that you can do. I provide all the links for you to do it yourself to take a look at what the latest is. I've done this, updated this for people who have consults because whoops. do that. Don't save. Okay. And so I'm going to zoom in. So this is a little bit old. And if you go to, and let me get rid of that. Okay. This is up to February last year, but you can use some of these links that I provide here, right there. And you can, if you use spreadsheets, you can see what's that green line? What's that black line? Actually, I think that's like a dark blue, maybe black. So the green line is Harris. If you're going to be going to Atlantic City, Harris. Now there's also the orange line, which is Borgata. And those are the top two. You want to check to see what it's been like in the last year. I'd be happy to do that, but I haven't, it's almost been like a year since I've done New Jersey. I did it first, and now I'm working through them alphabetically. But my goodness, resorts and Premier, stay away from them. The returns in New Jersey are available. Figure out what your baseline is and use it to go. Yes, you probably know that. You said winning has been extremely difficult. That might be your experience, but you might want to, instead of going to every casino and trying to figure out whether or not it's the best one, go look at the data. And Flip has provided information to Edgar about where to go. Flip says, I personally prefer WinStar, but only because it's closer to me, which allows me to visit more frequently. Both facilities are very nice and constantly upgrading. And for the one of the things that not a lot of people know, maybe people in Oklahoma do, is that WinStar and Choctaw Durant are like how Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods used to be back in Connecticut a couple of years ago, like 5-6 years ago, before WinStar opened. They used to compete with one another, and they rose each other up to the point where Foxwoods was number 2 in the world. But then WinStar opened, but Choctaw Durant is challenging them. So Choctaw Durant has a construction project. It finishes. Gaming floor is bigger. It becomes the largest in the world. WinStar says, well, we can't have that. So we're going to build something ourselves. And then they just kind of like grow together. I don't know currently which one is considered the largest casino in the world this weekend, this month, because the construction is just like, well, next, as Flip says, constantly upgrading. Yeah. Jan is sharing with Edgar, and this is the sort of sharing. This is a community video, and this is the sort of sharing that we're doing here. So you can also check with what people have said over the last year and a half, 2 years, in my Facebook groups for Oklahoma. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So, and I'll do that. So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership group, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. What a great live stream. You'll see me at my next live stream on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern or in the Pacific time zone, noon. In the meantime, I highly recommend you watch this video on how to know if a slot machine is a winner.